This is the Valley Today.
Hi everyone, good morning. Thank you so much for waking up and joining us here on the Valley Today. My name is Ashlyn Hill.
And I'm Jordan Schreier. While you were sleeping, the Red River crossed into moderate flood territory. We'll tell you about the impacts of that in just a minute. But first, meteorologist Lisa Green has a check of our radar as we're watching some rain fall from the sky. Morning, Lisa.
Good morning. Yeah, it started with some thunderstorms early this morning. We had a severe thunderstorm warning, the first of the season, issued for northeastern parts of South Dakota, including Roberts County and Sisseton area, back over into Marshall County. That storm has since kind of weakened as far as intensity. We're still getting some rain, though, as this whole band is lifting northward. You see in the first couple of frames of this 2-hour loop that we did have some lightning bolts there. Again, it has weakened somewhat, but we're still getting the moisture, and that's what we don't want to see. Looking at some rain stretching still down to Sisseton and pushing northeastward here. So we're seeing more of this starting to move toward the northern valley. Fargo's still in the middle of it. It stretches from Devil's Lake back down toward right along I-94, essentially through Minnesota toward the Twin Cities. Looking at a more zoomed in view here, you can see it's very colorful. It's not just rain that the radar's detecting. It's showing some snow too. So we are looking at some areas where it might be a rain for a time. Then you might see a little bit of sleet, maybe a few flakes mixed in there. As our temperatures are closer to freezing, especially in the higher up you go in the atmosphere here, so some of it not melting fast enough to be rain as it reaches the surface. So it's a little bit of a mixed bag happening right now. Most of us experiencing the rain right now. And then as this pushes northward, you can see up by Fosston, Bagley, Bemidji, the radar showing more snow in this area. And Northern Valley will be more likely to see the mix and some snow rather than just rain as the morning goes on. So let's expand the view. We've got this developing low pressure system. This is the first one that impacts us here this week, and the band of precip with it will continue just kind of pushing northeast. Behind it, we get a break from that, but it will take a little time, and some of us yet to see the rain and or snow move in the northern valley. Fargo, again, we've been tracking the rain. The roads are on the wet side, so keep that in mind. And we're also seeing still a few showers come down, not as intensely as it was even just a couple of minutes ago. That could ramp back up. So current conditions, temperatures above freezing, but just barely in spots. Jamestown's at 34 with what looks like snow or a mix happening being reported there. Detroit Lakes, Fargo, Grand Forks reporting some rain now, and temperatures again in the 30s and 40s. Check out these winds. These are your steady speeds out of the east in the 20s, gusts getting into the 30s. And even after the precip ends, we are looking at the wind hanging around today. So that's going to be an issue all day. Steady speeds in the 20s. Gusts getting into the 30s, maybe even some 40s as we head into tonight. Speaking of, into the 40s for this afternoon, which isn't far off from where we are now. In fact, we're in the 40s this morning in Fargo as we speak. Here's the new information this morning. Winter storm watch. Yes, we're talking about a winter storm potential for Northern Valley right now, starting Thursday morning into Friday. And we have the potential for 6+ inches of snow in this location. Could be a little bit shifted from here, but we're also looking at the potential for some icy spots and even some strong winds. So again, we've got several days ahead with some tough weather. More details on this to come. We'll also take a look at how this may impact flooding concerns too, coming up in just a couple of minutes.
Okay, I know a lot of folks don't want to see anything coming from the sky right now, Lisa.
No, but you know what? It's actually better to get snow when we're dealing with a flood fight because it's a slower melt. It doesn't enter the system all at once. So there is a little silver lining, I guess, too, if we're going to have to get precipitation. Right now, at least, it's better that it's snow, even if we don't want to see that.
Okay, thank you.
New this morning, a family pet now dead and a townhome badly damaged. This after a fire in South Fargo. It happened around 9:30 last night in the 2700 block of 27th Avenue South after a homeowner came back to find smoke, heavy smoke, inside.
Fire crews then found her dog. That was not breathing, but they couldn't resuscitate it. The cause is now being investigated. No damage estimate at this time. The Red River at Fargo Moorhead has now moved into moderate flood stage after hitting 25 feet just before midnight. That means we'll be losing one of the crossovers between Fargo and Moorhead. The old North Toll Bridge at 12th Avenue in Fargo and 15th Avenue in Moorhead is shutting down today as floodwaters get higher. Now, we grabbed this shot yesterday afternoon around 2 when the river level was about 24 feet. The red in the metro has come up nearly 2 feet since then.
City crews also working on a clay dike extension in that area to tie into a permanent earthen levee near Jack Williams Stadium. This is in North Fargo. It's on the east side of the baseball complex near the bridge. And flood walls are up in many spots around Fargo as well, including along North Elm Street, which is always the first to go under during these floods. The barriers are up from south of El Zagle Golf Course to near the VA hospital. And taking a look in downtown Moorhead, traffic on 3rd Street is blocked from near the Center Mall toward Woodlawn Park because of floodwater over that roadway there.
Further south in Moorhead, Rivershore Drive under I-94 will be the next stretch of road to shut down.
Turn around, don't drown. The Cass County Sheriff's Office is reminding people to not drive on flooded roadways or go around those barricades of closed roads within rural communities.
And the Valley Today's Nishay Taylor joins us live now to break down how it could be dangerous and even carry a hefty fine. Good morning, Nishay.
Good morning, Jordan and Ashland. That's correct. It could cost the drivers $200 if they happen to go around a barricade of a closed, flooded road. Now, the Cass County Sheriff's Office says going on these flooded roads increases the dangers for drivers. Now, they say it's common for people to want to be curious to see what the road looks like behind that barricade, but they are discouraging folks from even doing that.
We really try to deter people from doing that because they can find themselves in a dangerous situation real quick with the amount of water that's out there right now.
Now, Sheriff Johnner says that their concern also right now is the water-filled ditches along these rural roads. They say some of the roads are very slick and muddy, and people happen to slide off the road into those water-filled ditches. So folks will just have to remember to be safe as we continue to go through this flooding stage this spring. Reporting live in Castleton, Nishay Taylor, Valley News Live.
Okay, Nishay, very important information. Thank you. 6:07 right now. The Cheyenne River at West Fargo is running through the flood diversion this morning. The city closed off gates along the normal channel yesterday, a move that will send water around the city from I-94 to the northern city limits. The Public Works Department is monitoring the conditions around the clock now, and they're asking residents to let them know about any problems with the riverbanks.
You're also being asked to make sure that your sump pump hoses are draining outdoors instead of in your basement drain, and to refrain from flushing anything other than toilet paper. The city says even products labeled flushable can lead to clogged pipes, sewage backup, and major issues at lift stations. 9 people are now being treated for cold weather exposure after being rescued by the U.S. Border Patrol and various police agencies near War Road, Minnesota. The Royal Canadian Mounted Police in Canada got a distress call around 5 yesterday morning from one of the members of the group being rescued. The people were found in a flooded bog west of War Road.
Police first responded and provided immediate care before the victims were rushed to hospitals. The Border Patrol says 8 of the 9 people in the group had illegally entered the United States through Canada. After being medically cleared, those people will be transported to a U.S. Border Patrol station for further processing. New this morning, a 16-year-old driver is in a Fargo hospital after a crash in Norman County.
The Minnesota State Patrol says Alyssa Anderson of Hitterdal rolled her pickup last night on Highway 32. This was just south of Twin Valley. Troopers say her injuries are non-life-threatening. Police say a man found dead in a Moorhead apartment this week had been dead for quite some time. That
body was found Monday during a welfare check in the 1800 block of 1st Avenue North, and police say his death is suspicious. They have not yet released the man's identity or details on how he died. A Moorhead man will not serve any jail time in a distracted driving crash that killed 2 people. A plea deal was reached in the case against Jason Olsenowski. He pleaded guilty to 2 counts of negligent homicide and 1 count of reckless endangerment. But as part of a plea deal, the charges were deemed misdemeanors. He'll have to serve 300 hours of community service.
Troopers say he was speeding while using social media when he rear-ended an SUV on Highway 18. This was south of Hunter. The SUV was then pushed into an oncoming car. Both people were killed. The woman who was rear-ended and 2 children in her vehicle were also injured. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz delivers his State of the State address. It's happening today.
And it will be going on during a joint session of the state legislature at 7 this evening. The State of the State will be live streamed on the House of Representatives social media platforms.
Still to come this morning on the Valley Today, body cam video just released of the rescue of actor Jeremy Renner after he was run over by a snowplow.
But next this morning, we are waking up to rain out there. You might have even heard a bit of thunder depending on where you live. Lisa Green has everything you need to know in her forecast coming up in just 2 minutes.